Okay guys, today I'm super excited to show you the new Spell Druid deck with that is possible with the new Miniset, and especially with Kazakusan and I would say Onyxia. So okay, I want to introduce you today to the deck. It's super strong, it's fun to play. The treasures are, I show you here, Kazakusan, if 8/8 battle cry for 8 mana, if all minions in your deck are dragons, craft a custom deck of treasures. You have no other cards in this deck besides, as I said, there are some options that also makes it fun to play, that you can put, for example, additionally Onyxia inside, so she will also be a dragon, no problem at the end. So these treasures are super strong. I will show you in a few minutes exactly what cards we are talking about. And okay, so the deck is existing since 24 hours, so it's pretty new. So if you play it, you're completely up to date. It's taking over the meta right now. I will show it to you. Just give me a second. Here in Chrome, see it on hearthstonereplay.net. You can see last one day. I have to choose it because, as I said, the deck is brand new. So Diamond through Legend, Legend top 1000, Legend, Diamond 4-1, Diamond, whatever you choose, Spell Druid is the number one. That shows you the deck is super strong, even when it's not perfectly developed, because as I said, there are some options that you can choose for changing some cards, putting some in, putting some out. The deck that I show you right now, that you can see here on the right side, is the deck that I would recommend you first. Why first? Because it only has these two epic cards, legendary cards inside. Besides that, there is the Guess the Weight and the Coldtooth mine. Besides that, no other super expensive card. But as I said, there is an option with Onyxia, with the 8 mana cast that gives you 8 armor and an 8 cost minion. So it makes it a little bit more expensive, and I'm not even sure if this other deck is better. So I start with this one. Definitely gameplay will follow of both decks. So stay up tuned. Okay. It's super strong in the meta right now. So strength and weakness. Last 24 hours are is not a big amount of time, so it's not like I can tell you a lot about the strength and the weakness. The strength is definitely Kazakusan. The treasures are so strong cards that you can obliterate any enemy when you play Kazakusan, and that's why it makes so strong in the Druid deck, because you have options. You know, the normal Druid options to play high cost cards very early. You have also 2 times the Lightning Bloom inside, you have the Innervate, you have the Wildgrowth, you have the Overgrowth 2 times inside of your deck. So your goal is, with this, especially with this deck, to play Kazakusan as early as possible. If you play it on turn 4, 5 or whatever, I don't see a chance for the enemy to win. Because as I said, I will show you the treasures, what strong cards are there inside. It's totally crazy. So Wildheart Guff, it makes it even stronger if you can play it before you play Kazakusan. But at the end of the day, I would not care about. So if you don't have Wildheart Guff on your hand, but you have Kazakusan and you can play it, just play it and win the game, in my opinion. That's how it works. So that's the strength. That's why I combine it with the Druid deck, the Kazakusan. Weakness is super early, strong aggro decks like Face Hunter or Aggro Druid. I think these 2 decks are an answer on the Spell Druid deck. Besides that, I think you can win against every deck, and even you can win against these decks because you have some answers against aggro decks. Like, for example, the Lunar Eclipse or whatever, to just slow the enemy a little bit down. You have the Moontouched Amulet, for example, and stuff like this. Let us go to the Mulligan. The Mulligan is not that easy with this deck. I mean, okay, it is easy, but on the other side, not. Definitely keep Wildheart Guff if you have it. Definitely keep Wildheart Guff if you have it, and keep all the cards that give you additionally mana. That means if you have Innervate is a good card. If you have Lightning Bloom is a good card, especially together with the Wildheart Guff. So if you can play the Wildheart Guff on turn 2 or 3 or whatever, you know it's super strong. And would I keep Kazakusan at my starting hand if I would have it? I think the answer would be no. Why? Yeah, because you know at the end it's an 8 mana card. You cannot play it for a few turns. But also on the other side, the deck is built around Kazakusan. So I'm not sure about this. I think the answer is yes and no at the same time. When you have it on your hand, you have the win condition in your hand, but you have with the Coldtooth Mine and the Guest Away definitely good options to draw it. So it's a little bit about learning the deck, keep it or not. I tried both worked. So it's not like I can recommend you some to definitely not do it or do it, but what you should always keep at the end is definitely the Wildheart Guff. Overgrowth is a very strong card. The Lightning Bloom is a very strong card. And yeah, also I guess Innervate, if I not already mentioned it. Stuff like this, that gives you mana. So the perfect starting hand, maybe if you would be if you would be on second turn, would be a Lightning Bloom and maybe an Innervate, Wildheart Guff, and a Kazakusan, for example. So that's it. But as I said, it's still a little bit new, everything fresh, so not 100% sure about the Mulligan, but I think that's the nice thing to learn. Matchups. So I already said a little bit about the matchup, good ones, bad ones. Bad ones are only the real aggro decks. Quest Hand Warlock also has some strong cards against you, but besides that, every matchup you can play, even Face Hunter and Aggro Druid, you can play very well against when you have a good draw. And you know you're always a little bit reliable on a good draw against strong early aggro decks. So every matchup winnable. This deck feels very strong. It gives you a very nice feeling. So just try it out. Now a little bit about the deck itself. The deck that I show you here right now is the deck with only Kazakusan inside. No Onyxia, no Onyxia Scale, and also not the how is the card called? There is a deck that gives you a little bit of extra options. I show it to you. Ah yeah, perfect. I can show it to you here. This is the deck with a little bit of extra options. Raid Boss Onyxia, the Cenarian Ward, the Glowfly Swarm. Also super strong deck. It's kind of the same deck list. What is outside? Outside is the Best in Shell and stuff like this. And for this you put Onyxia, the Glowfly Swarm, the Cenarian Ward. There's also Innervate is not inside. Stuff like this. So a few changes. I prefer right now the deck with only Kazakusan as a minion and as the highest card, because what is, as I said, it's all about Kazakusan in my opinion. So if you play it, you win the game. That means if you have other cards inside that keeps you away from drawing Kazakusan, it can slow you down. But on the other side, in this deck that I present you right now, it's the only win condition. You have no, I mean, look at the cards. You have no cards to kill your enemy besides Kazakusan. No cards. So if you cannot play Kazakusan, you will lose. It's 100% sure. But usually you always play it or you always get it because, as I said, you have the Coldtooth Mine. It gives you 100% chance on Kazakusan when you draw the highest card, what you will definitely take. You have Guess the Wait, sorry, that gives you a very high chance to draw it. You have the Moonlit Guidance that gives you a chance, and you can draw it by itself. So very high chance to draw it. And if you can play it on turn 5, turn 6, I would say it's nearly 100% a win. If you play it on turn 8, you are maybe pretty low on HP, so it could make your life harder, but definitely still possible. But this is, as I said, what makes the Spell Druid so strong, that usually with Wildheart Guff, or you play this, or you, for example, on turn 5, you play a Lightning Bloom and an Innervate, you can play it on turn 5. So you have two options, the Wildheart Guff option or the Kazakusan option by itself, to play it very early with all this bonus mana that you can get in one turn. At the end, that's it. All the other spells are there to slow the enemy a little bit down, you know. And now I show you the treasures of Kazakusan, because they are super strong. You can see it here. I open the wiki, Hearthstone wiki, and here are the cards. I just talk a little bit about it. You can Google it, so it's not a big deal. But you see, okay, weapon, I would not recommend it. Give a minion +3/+3 for 1 mana. Okay, it's possible. Put a copy of a random card in your opponent's hand into yours. It costs 3 less. Could be super strong against some enemies that you know that have very nice strong cards on their hand. Give a minion +4/+4 and taunt. Super strong. Silence any minions. Okay, destroy a minion. Strong, especially for only 2 mana. A rush minion. After this attacks a minion and survives, transform this into an 8/8. Crazy. Summon a random legendary minion. Death Rattle. Okay. 1+1/+1 for each spell. I did not try it out so far. Strong card. Destroy a minion. Gain its attack and health, especially when the enemy has some very high cost minions. Copy. I did not try this card out. Poison. Your hero is even immune while attacking. Strong card. I don't like it so much, but okay. Not really good in my opinion, but still okay. Destroy a minion, restore its health to your hero. If the enemy has like a, 14/14 or whatever, crazy. That's a nice minion. Resummon this minion all the time with Death Rattle, so it never dies. Choose a minion, fill your board with 1/1 copies of it. Depends on what minions you have. Summon 7 boom bots, the boom bots that makes, I think, 1 to 4 damage on an enemy. Give friendly minion +2/+2 and summon 2 copies of it. Totally crazy. Summon 6 1/1 Bloodhounds with rush to attack an enemy minion. Good, okay. I did not try it out, but sounds not that bad. Give a minion rush, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, License, Poisonous, Taunt, and Stealth. Crazy card. Deal 8 damage to the enemy hero and freeze it. A lot of damage, but okay. Maybe if the enemy wants to attack, makes sense. So against Poison Rogue, I guess. Summon 3 1/1 snakes with Poisonous Rush, Bot Clear, silence and destroy all enemy minions. 5 mana, crazy. And Gnaw Your Horn. What should I say? The name explain what it does. Totally crazy, this card. Silence and destroy a minion, summon a 10/10 copy of it. Crazy. Locus, totally crazy, especially because it's a twin spell. Choose an enemy, fill your boards with 2/2 Locus that attack it. And it even works when the enemy has a taunt minion on his board. You can play the card and just attack the enemy hero with it. It's 40 damage in the face and he can do nothing. Deal 7 damage to all enemies, cost 1 less for each minion that's died this game. Okay. And also very strong card. For 10 mana, shoot 3 fireballs at random enemies that deal 8 damage. If the enemy has no minions, could go all phase. Yeah, sometimes you may be unlucky if the enemy has three minions or whatever. And you want to clear them, it would maybe cast 2 on the enemy hero and only 1 on a minion. You know how this is working, but besides that, nearly all strong cards, and some of them are totally busted. It's crazy. It's overpowered, definitely, in my opinion. I don't know what they will change, if they will change something, but as I said, maybe the meta even just shifts around. and the counter decks will get stronger. So that's it at the end of the day. As I said, there is another option with Onyxia, with the Glowflies, and with the card that is called Cenarian Ward. But I recommend you first to play the deck list that I present you right now. Try it out, and we will see which one of these decks. I think one of those will take the first place at the end of the day. Maybe depends a little bit on which ladder rank you play, but we will see. So I definitely show you some gameplay during the week with this deck. It's awesome to play. It's fun to play with Kazakusan. So yeah, I put the deck list into the description. Guys, enjoy the deck, have fun, see you in the ladder, bye bye.